Hey, what is up, guys? It's Guildspire here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday afternoon. Had to think for a second what day it was, because with New Year's, it really threw me off. It's Saturday, right? Yeah, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. So. Last time we left off, I had a lot of, stuff to do in my journal still. As you can see now, they're all complete. Yes, all of them. I mean, all of them are complete. All of the side quests, all of the main quests. Went through all the Hildebrand quests, which were actually a ton of fun. I should really enjoy those. We went through all of the Beast Tribe the quests. And other quests as well. So, yeah. I'm pretty much all caught up with the side stuff. And now we literally only have them as queue. I think the only things I haven't done, like I did my dailies today, I did my Beast Tribe dailies, I did my Duty Roulette dailies. The only thing I haven't done is I still have a few hard dungeons to do. I think like 3 or 4 of them. Let's see. We have Lost City of Amdapor. We have Manor Hard. And we have Pharaoh's Hard. Or actually just Pharaoh's, not even hard. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think I've done all the dungeons as well as all the trials. Have I done all the trials now? Let's see. Yep. Oh, we have not done Thorn March Extreme. That's now it's 4 that I have not done. I'll have to do tomorrow. Anything else? We did the raid. We did that. Yeah, no, that's it. There's only 4 dungeons I have not done, but we're not going to do this right now. We're going to just do the MSQ. All right, we're going back here, so let's just use return. So yeah, that's kind of been what I've been up to, just grinding out all the side stuff. I even did the post-Moogle stuff, so I'm now officially a post-Moogle. That is a thing. But fun times. I've been enjoying it. I'm at level 59. I'm way over leveled, both in item level. I'm 121 because I bought a lot of the augmented Ironworks gear. And also have the Bravura as well. That's the only thing that's literally bringing down my item level since it's 80. Otherwise, I'd be at 130. Ooh, a level 90 weapon coffer, though. I'll take that. The Admiral has informed me of the arrangement. I have in my keeping a letter of introduction for Lady Yugiri. To the south stands a gate leading to a pier for smaller fishing vessels. Look for an inconspicuous Hyuran man there, and present the letter to him. He serves as a gatekeeper of sorts. Now, before you go, I am obliged to remind you that the members of fraternity to which you'd be introduced abide in the shadows of Lominson society. They value their independence more highly than pirates and are united by a bond stronger than mithril, to wit they are invariably wary of new faces. Though it be penned by the Admiral herself, mere words on parchment will get you only so far into their confidence. You must work for every ounce of the trust they place in you. But here's the letter. Go to the aforementioned place and show it to the aforementioned man, and good luck. I mean, the good news is that, you know, I may or not have already been accepted into that group, but whether or not they remember me, I guess we'll have to find out. Also, last night I decided to stop into Final Fantasy and see what, like, New Year's was like in Final Fantasy, because, like, I played Destiny and, like, the tower would get a bit crazy, or, like, the vision, the main areas would get a bit crazy during New Year's. Final Fantasy was interesting Nothing, like, too special. Not many people, like, going... Like, too many people, but, like, a lot of people just kind of sticking around and chatting, which was kind of cool. It was a cool experience, at the very least. Alright, let's go this way. I guess it's the right way. I'm just going the long way. I shouldn't have teleported. Wait, the hell? Where am I going? Where am I going? I went, like, the long way. That's what I'm learning here. Yeah, if I would've just came down this way. Yeah, okay. For the most part, I know how to get from point A to point B in this game. And then there are moments like this where I go, huh, I guess not. Hello, inconspicuous man. Got business with me, venturer? I do. So, you're the woman the Admiral sent word of. I was hoping I might catch a glimpse of Thancred too. Been a while since I saw his shit-eating grin. But what with all the doe-eyed wenches about, I expect he's got his hands full. Ah, and you must be the Far Eastern that, what Miralwib says wants to train with us. Welcome to Limsa, milady. I am Ugiri of Doma. 'Tis an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when first I learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. It seemed I was mistaken. You're not the first person to say that last. Limsa's city of pirates, to be sure, and pirates don't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do their dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to this purpose. I know that the practitioners of my art too are denizens of shadows. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There's much we might learn from one another, I think. Then what in its own hell are we waiting for? If you come with us, you Geary of Do-What's-It, we can get acquainted in more private surrounds. Ha, that didn't come out right, did it? No, not in the slightest. Lady Rose, I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I am loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us Domans. No word would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea. When that time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. When eventually I start branching out to more stuff and things. Right now, we're just going full in on warrior. Full in on warrior. Until such time that I have time to actually dive into other classes. And, like, know my full rotation of warrior, like the back of my hand. Let's check that, that weapon coffer, though. Let's see. That's so sad. It took me so long to get the Bravura, and then we just have this. It's like, oh yes, this is immediately better. Cool. Cool. Dumb. But makes sense. Ugiri has the air of a one bursting of gratitude, and these are level 110, so worse than what I have. So we're just gonna go for the silver pieces. Much and more has occurred since first I beheld Eorzea from the galleon's deck. Suffice it to say, I did not envisage being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I have kept you overlong. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, pray relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, Warrior of Light. Alright. Let's go say hi to Minfilia. And Rising Stone. Over this way. Hey, Happy New Year, my friend. Hopefully your New Year's Eve went well. Hey, we were just chilling here the entire night, so it went well here. Can't complain. Ooh, I like that, that axe. That actually looks pretty cool. Initially, I thought that was like a dragon's head. That'd make it even cooler. It's a bit less cool, not as zoomed in, but still not bad. Hello.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me.
All right. I'm listening.
When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo.
As far as we're aware, we actually don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, so I will say this, Minfilia's wardrobe right now makes very little sense. Prior, when they were stationed in the Wandering Sand, or Waking Sand, which was a desert, made a lot of sense. Now in Revenant's Toll, which is very snowy, makes a lot less sense. So, have no argument there, just probably didn't want to switch out the model. Yeah, as well, so far, 2K22 has been great. Found out my friend is a voice actor, and he has a whole recording booth, so I can go use that for all my YouTube videos, which is awesome. That is pretty awesome.
Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing.
In some way, it seemed like they needed a host much like an Asian. Or Asian.
When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove.
Could we theoretically do that?
Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul. But never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, no less that our souls could
She
then
deflects the
occupy
cold
an
of her abs,
extracorporeal
yes.
vessel to take our fancy.
That is truth.
It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion.
So theoretically speaking, if we were to die, we could inhabit another body, both Minfilia and I. Wiggle control is going to DBD.
Though the Sahagin had mastered his
No.
gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable.
Where did you see these rumored controls would be my question. I always like to know where the sources are. If it's like DBD leaks, that's one thing. If it's Reddit or some random person, then I'm like, I don't care about you.
As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan.
Yes.
And the import of this observation? If the Asians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed.
Interesting. So that is an interesting thought, I have to admit. However, we note that La Habrea is still very much alive and did not have another body to take control of very quickly. All right, I want to check this. Let's check DVD leaks. Hold up. Let's see, what'd you post? Can't process anything, but leaked wiggle skill checks might get turned on temporarily as an experimental feature after mid-chapter 22.5 release. PTB starts the 4th of January. Ooh, interesting. You can try to wiggle free from the killer when you are picked up. Press the wiggle prompt as shown. I'm actually not against that. I kind of like that. Yeah, I do like that. Okay. I am interested. It's better than pushing A and D, and as long as it's somewhat consistent, then I would not be against that in the slightest.
There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale. Yet recent events have given me cause to wonder. Could the legend in fact refer to the Echo?
So, are you suggesting that maybe those imbued the Echo are possessed by another?
Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time.
Survivors are going to complain when they get slugged? How so? I feel like it wouldn't change. It's not going to change much. The time to wiggle's the same, so there's no reason for killers to slug.
For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight.
To some degree. But how do we get the Ascians to be consumed by someone greater, like Leviathan?
With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long.
So they dropped the R, Urianges, not Urangers, Urianges. Speaking of Urianger...
Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Another primal!
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies.
Oh no, students of Baldesion. Okay. They all dead.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
They all dead.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
They did.
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be.
So, like, exploded, removed from existence, no longer where it once was, because those things could mean many different things. You'll miss skill checks, it may be shorter of time. No, so it's probably going to be the same amount of time. They're basically going to relate a skill check to X period of time. Much like that, what they do with skill checks on Hook. It's the same amount of time. The amount of time you spent on Hook is still 60 seconds, no matter what. So the wiggle time will be the same. It got up and walked away? Okay. It was one of those lion turtles.
'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
Ooh, another weapon of Alleg? Or Allegan weapon? Magics? Technology?
12 preserve.
I already dealt with that with the Labyrinth. Or the Crystal Tower, rather. Oh, these idiots again. Well, majority idiots.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
How about we move to the order of why you're such a jerk-off? Had to scare my brain for words. Okay, why are you just sitting there? In the dark. This is very ominous, my friend. Who dis?
It is done, my lord.
Okay, getting even more ominous.
I... Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Okay, so this person's up to something.
Revolution.
What now? Now's not the time for revolution and civil wars, you fools. Gonna lurk, winter storm approaches, need to weatherize the house. All right, Zero, well, stay safe, my friend. Hey, Alfie. More earrings, we're gonna go with more silver pieces. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. Okay, so it sounds like it just up and disappeared. Like it's gone, but not like destroyed. Interesting. No, it avails us not to speculate. I'm gonna butcher his name again. Because I want to say Uranger, but it's Orange. We'll send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different manner, one closer to home. And, find like rubber or anything, I was just not there. Okay. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which we had previously attributed to good King Mugomog 12. The king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Well, technically, they're back again. I haven't done the extreme dungeon yet. Yeah, all is not well in the 12's Wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. We already defeated, Odin. I guess there's the Sylph primal, which we have not touched. I forget his name. But he's been there since the beginning of the ARR, basically. But we just determined that it wasn't worth us to defeat that primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation. I would have you... Celia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. More problems. Fantastic. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Ul'dah this time are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. Can I ask on tips for Ghostface? Have Ghostface cosplay coming up in time for Scream 5? Honestly, don't stalk people unless you're stalking them on an unhook and you're leaning for it. Otherwise, just use them as a stealth-based M1. It seemed they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are all in 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. Did anyone... I mean... Huh. If they're just expected to work, as long as work is available as a frontier hand, there's no reason why they couldn't. It wouldn't be on our part. It would just be, hey, we're here now. That's a long way to travel, mind you. Can we find work? And if so, then cool. I see. Mayhaps this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. I mean, there's no reason for us to meet with them, theoretically speaking. Celia, you know full well we have the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow, correct? And this is where politics get into hand. I mean, this was more or less for displaced Domans as the opportunity arose. The refugees of Ul'dah. I guess we're not exactly getting any favors from Ul'dah. Your penny is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. I mean, it makes sense to hear them out, but in this instance, the answer should just be no. Rose, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Alright. So there we go on for this. And this is a delicate situation. I'd say more or less if you're able to work as a frontier hand, then by all means, do just that. But if you aren't, then... that's about it. Made the journey for nothing. Because if you take a look... hold on. So if you take a look real quick... so we're here in Mordoa. Or Mordona. And where is... Thanalan's down here, so they traveled north. From here to here. That's not a small... small bit of travel either. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Signs of the 7th Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. The thing is, we didn't give them tasks. It's more or less as the frontier hands. Pray, calm yourself, reach your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, Menphilia. I ain't so good with words. Been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one we got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man, not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms, any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? You surely do the same for us. I mean, at least you had some form of support, though not the best in the world, mind you. At least it was something, where these people had, for all intents and purposes, nothing. I fear the situation is more complicated. While it's true that we accepted Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply for plight, but pray understand that it's not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. I mean, yeah, that is the most sensible option here. And let them know, like, hey, there's still work to be done, but we cannot provide you any support. But we have nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us. No, you literally just walked into a closed door. There was no open door, you just perceived one to be. If I might have a word, Tataru. Tataru is Autumn Miss. Ill tidings from Old Da, my lady. Alphanod has been wounded. Ooh. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the Flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven Hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Manvia, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the one we got. My lady? You're not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How could you be so blind? I mean, it's not about being blind. We're being fed secondhand information. And what else are we to do? We need more information. Find Alphanod and quickly. If he's in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Yida and Papolima will see to it. Alphanod is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Rose. Probably while we're there, we're probably going to investigate further and figure out what exactly caused the riot, I'd imagine. Alright. So we can go here and then teleport down. I mean, we do also have additional information that this may have been purposely created for the benefit of one of the members of the Syndicate. Well, you seem fine right now.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well.
It would appear that way.
Ulda, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident.
So it wasn't organized.
There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over.
Which would make sense given the economic disparity between the lowest class of people and the richest of the rich.
Ulda is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life.
But as we've seen the Calamity, that isn't exactly the case.
To an Uldan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence.
Most they can get away with a great
So
law.
where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity?
There is no place for them, and nor are they able to find any footholds to climb up the social ladder.
Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'Dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist.
But one cannot simply ignore that problem for long.
Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor.
But they are only a small part of a whole and thus can't do everything.
Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers.
Yeah. Because if Ul'Da has any form of taxation to supplement the aid, then Ul'Da might not feel like providing their taxes, more or less.
While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry.
Yep.
The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions.
Yeah, as we very clearly saw them all walk out in disagreement with the proposal.
It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence.
Yeah, there's no reasoning for them not to, given the circumstances.
That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
And hence why this probably feels a little bit, how should I say, planned. Orchestrated, organized, all of the above. The rings, and we're gonna go for more silver pieces. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable, but an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reasons to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. Alright. So let's... yeah, I guess we can teleport over there, making our walk a little bit shorter. Oh, General! Make it so appear to be that the refugees see that the Immortal Flames are on the side of them. If they don't, then we could have an issue. Now is not a good time, Rose. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphanod, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your surgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can to spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine, given the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with the martial weaponry. I need hardly to add that such equipment is costly, and thus probably provided by a benefactor. None can deny that tensions between Ul'Da and citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not, and I would agree with that. And one of those who have not even a single gil to spend. Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would not sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well, my point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. And that is my first duty. Until it's done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. Well, in that case, let me assist you. General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel with good cause. Were he to claim without the necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarist would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultanate have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Rose. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlement suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. Thanks. I meanwhile shall seek answers my own way, after which you can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Alright, easy enough. Speak with Swift. Ah, hello, Swift. You look as though you have something to say, Rose, do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information fall in the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be suited to this task than a regiment. Very well, the Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to the recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. Alright. Let's do that and see what we can find. Hello? Chocobo? And let's see. Hello there, you two. And what brings you here, adventurer? Search for refugees. Well, then you've come to the right place. I mean those refugees. Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. What merchant? A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return. I'm increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. If you haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind, speak with Zazawaka and he'll explain everything. Looks like they're here. Hello, Zazawaka. Ah, don't hurt me! I'm not one of them! Wait, I know your face. Are you not the woman from the Church of St. Adam Landama? Landama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric bid you speak of me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists have returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you'll understand why. Even now, he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I have no doubt that the merchant which will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. So the merchant that they're mentioning is very obviously in connection with the one merchantist or monetarist that we saw, ominously speaking. What are you doing? Don't draw, don't draw, don't draw, don't draw. Oh my god, yeah, he is in a rough spot mentally. You didn't run away with me. We could have escaped together. You'd be here with me, be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? So, A, PTSD from what he's seen. but on top of which, also a smidgen of survivor's guilt. Who are you? What do you want? Aye, it's true, I followed the merchant and made the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups and sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leaders tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and, oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. And these are still 110, so more silver. The other refugees are hiding in caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate to try and kill us than to listen to reason, while the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. So I'm wondering if this was a plot to pretty much kill off the refugees. Or at least, besmirch their name. If only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they were forced to confront reality, that is, challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest words are no match for one woman, mayhap then they will agree to lay down the arms and renounce this plot. I mean, this one woman is the person who took down the ultimate weapon. I feel like somehow people have quickly forgotten that. Though, I don't know. I guess the question is, like, how well reported was that entire incident? You'd imagine that it was pretty well reported, but maybe not outside the major areas. Interesting thought. We need to go down here, though. Hold up. Is this the cave? Yes. Seven hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. Oh. Well. Thank you. And I could probably just auto-attack you all to death, but we're not going to do that. What I will do, though, is this. Shall we? How you use Rampart. Now, isn't that cute? Wait, did they interrupt my attack? I couldn't combo. That was really strange. Huh. Rude. Who am I talking to? Speak with the desperate refugee. Oh, you. You beat him like it was nothing. Thou Almighty, what are we gonna do now? Well, at the very least, they're in no shape to, start a revolution, I suppose. For all that is worth. And hello. Oh, hello. You returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice better than a handful of them taking a beating from you than the lost get butchered by the flame. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Wasn't there. Huh? But where else would he be? Useless. Useless. He went to Stone Throw to recruit others. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew the forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must be endured before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Alright. Are we? Okay. We're in the same zone, so we're gonna fly there. Not that I'm really hurting on Gil, but I might as well use my chocobo when we can. Also gives me a few moments to sip on some tea. Alright. Was it pretty close to Ul'dah? I guess that's why it's stone throw away from Ul'dah. Somewhere other there. Have you seen my parents? Ooh. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. Ooh. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? You mean the man who left my parents? But I don't know where he... Hello? Wait, look, over there! I think that's him! Well, and now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? Oh, better yet, I throw an axe into your face, eh? He's gonna run. You! I! Yup! How'd I know? He's getting away, go get him, miss! There you going, friend. You think you can outrun me, eh? You think you can outrun me? I'll have you know I can throw an axe farther than you can run. Ah, yes, great hiding spot, bud. Hello! You again! Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution, that's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies, refugees? The same self-refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusation, none. No, I will not accompany you to the halls of flames. You have no right to detain me. Are you sure about that? For the sake of an argument, let us say I did do those things you claim. Surely you don't think I gave Quirins arse about politics. It was business, only business. You looking for someone, bud? I'm the only face you should worry about right now. Ooh, an archer. Is he about to be silenced? You both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Yep, there it goes. Ooh. Loose ends cannot remain. What's all this commotion? 7 hells? Tell others to spread out and search the air. The killer may still be close. Alright. Oh, no. Need to talk to you. Hold, adventurer. I'd like to know more about your relation with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhaps we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. I don't think so. In any case, it's obvious you are not one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. Well then, the plot begins. It makes sense, but how that person would attract the merchant is surprising. I guess they were looking to meet up at that location, though. That would make a bit of sense. That would make a bit of sense. Hi, Swift. What news, Rose? Where's that merchant? Murdered! Damn it all to the seventh hell! He was not simply murdered, Rose, he was silenced. Too many knew his face and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though, we may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. These are all 110, so... Still 110. Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the fragrant chamber as soon as you had returned. He wished to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphanod has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Alright, so let's go there to the street. We can very easily teleport there and not make us run all too much. And let's go here. There's Alfie, me boy. Ooh, that's a lot of people here. We've been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
Any confirmation before saying it? Interesting.
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions.
Yup.
A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination.
Not entirely wrong.
Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence.
Until
a certain incident served as a call to arms.
a specific
A
argument.
unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters.
Excuse me, what now?
It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
Yeah, that would make a little bit of sense. You know, people being slaughtered unarmed to a volley of arrows.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated.
I imagine he was paid off.
Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin
Yup.
to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji.
I still don't understand his motive in this unless there is coin to be made. I remember, who was it? Was it Alphanod who had made mention of that he does not make decisions unless there is coin to be made.
But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Maybe to bring light to the situation, to take them from under the thumb of the Syndicate? There's, I guess, many angles to look at this from, but none of them make all too much sense in the long run.
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
That makes sense.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Between who?
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
Okay. So there's still territorial disputes. The bill has been spoken of.
The
Interesting.
destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed.
Yeah, that's probably not a great idea to build a settlement there, you know, near what are potentially weapons of mass destruction.
There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day.
And a bit of sense, a Cold War.
Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations.
That is, it's an interesting agreement.
In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill.
Hey, what's up, Demon Star? Yeah, now on weekends, we'll do Final Fantasy XIV as well, as long as I don't have COTF games, which this will be the last full weekend. And then we have next Saturday, and then Sunday starts the next season of COTF.
A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
Interesting.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean Alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
Well, looks like Alphanot is right, that all his decisions are still made under the guise of making coin, even if they seem good.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
Modified Catgore model because they hadn't finished the Aura at the time? No, I was not aware of that, but does make sense. It definitely seemed that way, and I was kind of like, at first, like, is that a cat girl? Is that a bunny girl? Oh, and then I saw the tail, I'm like, oh, it's an Aura. That makes sense.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution.
Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, it also fits into the narrative that she's a ninja, or like at least the classes, and likes to be, you know, hidden in the shadows. No idea if the ARR model is out there. I don't know, that's a good question.
His sympathy for the plight of the Domins was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate? And, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
I mean, elegant ruins which could have unknown potential, whether it be a weapon of mass destruction or technology that one can profit from.
Omega.
Omega? Excuse me, what now?
Pardon?
My thoughts exactly.
An Alagon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap
Fantastic.
larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated.
Fantastic. So, weapon, not just
Alagon
technology, weapon.
inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself.
Oh.
If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
But I get the sense that it was not successful.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
That would make sense, given the thought of primals being gods, and then you have the god primal itself. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged.
Nor its functionality, for that matter.
However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
But does he really think he has the resources or the know-how similar to that of the Garleans to do so? Or would it be their intention to work with the Empire to succeed in such endeavors? Interesting.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
I mean, not to mention that it's such a gamble that if this were not to succeed, that all of what you have created will fall before your eyes.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
Yeah, that's not gonna go well.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Interesting. Let's see, level 110, we're gonna grab more silver pieces. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. And this wasn't just Ul'dah, mind you. This was also Limsa and Gridania, who do have knowledge of it, given that the Cartano Flats are a mutual battleground. It'd be in our best interest to learn more from the military activities in disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Corporal Hunt. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartano. Begone, whelp! There's no place for children. Oh, it's the girl from the camp, Stone's Throw. I'm sorry. I wish I could smack half these people who are rude to children and such with the backside of my friggin' axe. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? I do. Her parents probably died in the riot. So he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? Yes and no. However, I can think of several places that might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. One of them might be the Lich Yard. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs to finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by the pillar over there. You require but a moment. Oh, Alpha not so good. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an Aether-starved primal, even dealing with an Asian would be preferable to this charade. Yeah. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Rose, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in 12 Woods has taken a turn for the worse. I'll explain in detail once you arrive. Your point? At 12'swood, then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports of XIV activity, which leaves the Sliffs. Yep, that's the one I was thinking of. Go, Rose. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedent over all else. Oh, and when you arrive to inform Minfilia that I am grateful for her concern, she need fear for my safety, I am more than capable of protecting myself. Alright. What class is Alphanod? Would it be Gunbreaker? Because I'm not sure what they carry on their back. Scholar? Oh, that would make sense. Like, I haven't actually seen Alphanod, like, in action. Like, I've seen Y'shtola, you know, actively fight with me, but never Alphanod. Him and Uranger are technically scholars. Gotcha. Would make sense. Would make sense. And, you know, based on their aptitude for history, would be fitting. Same with Uranger, by that measure. Also, I can remove you, and you, and you. Time to fell another primal. It's a relief to see you healthy and hail, Rose. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. And it only gets worse. Clearly, the only injury Alphanod suffers was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. Those signs will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. More pieces of gold. Or silver. Still 110, some more silver pieces it is. Thancred was technically classified as a warrior until the rogue was put into the game. Yeah, I was about to say, I remember based on we seen his fight with Leviathan, he seemed to be a rogue since he carried one blade, but seemed to transition into a fight stance of a ninja, similar to Yugiri. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you. Were it not urgent. To business then. I received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have, and is not certain. The Elder Seeds here informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Slifflands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, Minfilia, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Like his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in defense of his children, which suggests, much like we had before, that we do not need to fell him. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sliffs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping in close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon, you foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it. I mean, because we determined that we didn't need to. That was the entire point of interacting with the Sylphs, that there was no necessity to do so. I told Papalymo I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the Calamity, but that was because the guns came tramping through the forest. Yeah, and so as long as the Castrum Orin stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. Ooh, okay. In short, Yida and I are in agreement the actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that the observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers in the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. Oh. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I'm put in mind of Titan and the Kobolds once again, if it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. There we go. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Rose, though your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solis, you once succeed in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? Potentially. Though I have also killed a number of touched ones in my time. If Ramuh can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step of breaking the cycle of primal summoning. Upon hope, were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since their time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramuh's presence. The Elder Seer has requested your personal involvement, Rose. Pray report to Commander Hulux at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steer yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will, of course, lend you whatever support you require. Sounds good. So let's teleport to Gridania. I'm doubtful that peaceful resolution will be able to happen, but it's worth a try. It is always worth it first to seek peace than it is conflict, but only if both sides are in agreement that peace is what they're looking for. When one seeks violence, there is not much conversation of peace. Rose of Signs, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal has ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for an eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nofika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. Alright, well, we can just go out here to Old Gridania then, rather than teleport elsewhere. There should be a shard, probably not far out from here, though. Oh, I guess we don't even need it. We're pretty freaking close. The other signs have already arrived, madam. May I show you in? Yes, please.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solis.
Who dat? Hi, friend.
Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands.
Would make sense.
Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelve's Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided.
I mean, that would be a good hope based on your description of him.
Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations.
Yeah, I imagine it would be kind of unfortunate to send someone in going, okay, you're gonna be the messenger. Now, the saying goes, don't kill the messenger. In this case, they wouldn't kill you, they just take over you, and you would then be a servant to them for all of eternity until your death. Enjoy!
The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities.
I'd agree.
Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
I'll try my best. Aw, happy Sylph.
You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin.
I imagine go deep into the forest, and I'll find him there.
An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Interesting foreshadowing of something that, I mean, we know of a mega, but I feel like that would be a red herring in this regard. There's probably something more foreboding. Alright, let's go here. I mean, the Seans very obviously have a plan set in motion. The question is what exactly that plan may be. Alright, let's go this way. I've already done my Beast Tribe primals, my Beast Tribe dailies. So we're good on that for the time being. Rose of the Signs! I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramu himself. An unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you'll be well suited. I've been told that your fellow Scions are conducting investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. All right. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finished the investigation. I don't imagine it'll be much longer. Ah, here's a messenger. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summon Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good woman to her fellow Scions? It'd be this one's pleasure, walking one. Please come with this one. All right. Is this an escort mission? It looks not. Cool, so I can fly there. And we can go right through this way. I know I've been around this area, but I've never been this far in. I don't actually know. I feel like I probably have. I've done most of the side quests. There's Maxio. Hello. Wise ones have ventured deep within the Sylphlands. This one must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touched ones. Well, you went far well ahead, my friend. I don't know if I've actually been to this area at the actual stronghold itself. I think like areas in front maybe, but not actually this far in. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I definitely have not been here. I do not remember this area at all. Just watch out for Odin. Well, I've already felled Odin, so we're good there. This one is Mosari. The skies are clear. Yes. Yeah, I already fell Odin. I have literally, I joke you not, have done all the side quests that exist post-ARR at this point in time. You will not find a single exclamation point that has not been completed, unless it's class-specific. So sorry, but this one can go no further, draw too close to the Lord of Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touched ones. There's a fate where Odin can spawn somewhere in Gridania. Really? That's interesting. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find Wise One not far from here to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. Bye, Maxio. There's Papalimo. So it's actually you. I'm relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, I was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look of Y'shtola's face when one impersonating you suddenly showed up. I like that. That's quite enough, Papalimo. My apology. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I've finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and I'm pleased to say I've reached an indisputable conclusion, to wit that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetherite. Come, Rose, the Lord of Levin awaits. Sorry, over here. Alright. Tension, weather condition, the sky will be black. The fate has a tiny radius of alert. You'll need to scour the areas where they've registered, where it spawns. Interesting. I'll have to be on the lookout for that. That seems like a really fun, fun fate to do. Like, I normally stay away from fates, unless it's, like, within my level range, which none are currently, because I'm way over leveled. Hi, it's you again. I remember seeing you. Last person to get a hit on him gets their name on the next spawn. Oh, that's cool.
Nora betrays thee, servant of hiding.
Hi! Your beard's bigger than mine.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan.
Well, aren't you well learned?
I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest.
And we come in peace.
Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult.
Okay, so how do you judge that? I'm interested.
Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest not for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man.
And so we could try and assist you in ensuring that solitude, but we cannot exactly be in control of every individual like yourself.
Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other.
But one can separate the two within their own actions.
Thy conflict have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man.
Well, aren't you quite literally racist?
Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking?
I mean, I would like to continue discussions so we don't move to hostilities, for I will chop off your head.
Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee.
Okay, so looks like discussions can continue.
Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial.
I mean, I have survived many trials before, so let's do
Thou
it.
wouldst champion the cause of harmony. I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee.
All right.
Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
My friend, that's a lot of pressure to put on one person, mind you. Ready to go.
Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Wait. Weren't we trying to avoid battle, but now we're going to battle?
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady.
Urianger just wanted to witness, for all intent and purpose, history.
I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Fun fact, is one of the areas where they cut down on the quest chains. Ah, fair enough. Well, it looks like we are now just able to... Can you not, for 5 seconds, try to attack me? Alright. NPCs never, apparently. Alright, let's clear our selection. And let's go straight at this. What's my tome look like? Okay, we're good. I'm not near max. I've been trying to make sure I do not get to max. So here's a question for you. Right now, what I've been doing when I get to max tombstones is I've been just getting the 130 gear because I'm like, well, it's above what I currently have. I might as well be over leveled for gear. That way I can do things that I shouldn't be doing. What should I actually be spending these on now that I have pretty much, I'm geared out outside of my weapon, which currently is at 90. Yep, the Ironworks gear is good. Yeah, I'm already maxed out on everything. I have all the Ironworks gear now. Both the right and left, with the exception of my weapon. All 60 tombstone gear. Is level 60 tombstone? That is item level 130. Level 50, but yeah. I guess the question is what to then... You can't get that yet? Okay. So, if I were to get close to max tombstones, what should I spend it on? Like, is there anything that I should hoard for future usage? As right now, I do not have anything. Also, I should just join this right now, shouldn't I? No, that was quick. That was quick. Oh, this is a full party. Fireworks gear for classes you're interested in the future. Okay, it's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. So I should look into that. I should at least do like one tank, one healer, one DPS, and kind of... Can you not? I'm not even going to bother hitting you if anything. I'm really just going to auto-attack you to death. Want to be troll? Yeah. I think I can just auto-attack you and not even lose health. Yeah. Any mechanics here that I should be aware of? Hello. Including range and melee. Be extremely close to level 60 and could get it now. Eat the balls. Noted. Eat the balls. Well, let's see if I'm gonna main tank or off tank here. I forgot you need a certain place for it? Yeah. I mean, I'm probably pretty close to Heaven's Ward, but I'm still an ARR, no? Right, this is still ARR, it's post-ARR. Pre-Heaven's Ward. Okay. Okay, looks like my... Okay, Gunbreaker is taking action. Cool. I got that before... Damon? Let's go up. And since we're off tank, we can go 1, 2, 3. You said eat the things, correct? No more, up to 3. Any more and you'll hurt yourself? Okay, so just 3. Noted. And I'm not exactly too worried. I can tank frickin' most things. Ray Arbiter. Kill the Arbiters? Yeah, it's my figures would be the case. Let's go 1. Let's go 2. There's one that has not taken any damage, so I'm a little bit concerned about. Where is it? I love this music. Okay, there's the orb. So that's 1. I don't see any more. There's 2. I guess I can just continue to deal damage. There's 2. And I see an Arbiter where over there. Tempest. Alright, let's grab one. Grab two. And is it 3 or no? Looks like a no. Let's go down again. And I think we're good at this point. Can't tell people with grab balls, the tether won't go away until they do. I don't think we need to worry about it, he's at 1%. I imagine that they're either not doing damage or just stuck there. I feel like they're tethered for... Oh, they're already gone. We're pretty much tethered the entire time. Rip Lord of outdated term for lightning / thunder. Yeah, just a little.
Thy measure, bringer of light.
And... oh, interesting.
And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather.
Yes, I am on Fairy.
Weakness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Interesting. Was hoping I was in the right queue for world visiting. Oh, are you currently world visiting? And I am an Aether Fairy. Or on J.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one.
So, I imagine based on the reaction of like Garuda, Leviathan, and Titan, and Ifrit, that they recognize or know their past lives for all intent and purpose. That when they're fell and returned, they remember. So we shouldn't have to do this again. Ramuh should not be hostile, as long as we have not strayed.
In witnessing thy struggle, the truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the rising.
Yeah, that's
stars
fair.
anon.
That's fair. Extreme for the win. Okay. Do not attack me. Don't do it. I'm just adjusting my POV. I swear to God. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And I think we're still in the same zone, so let's fly there. All right. And I think we determined that all the gear that this will give me is not worth me taking, so we're gonna grab silver pieces. Rose, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramuh received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. The people of both Gridania and Little Souls will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the Forest Champion of Peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Rose. The Elder Seedseer must be informed of your deeds at once. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experience firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nofika's altar will be expecting you. Farewell, Rose. Alright, so let's teleport this time. But yeah, as mentioned earlier, I am close to level 60, but I'm way over-leveled for everything that I'm doing. Like, I have no right being this high level, but it's simply because I've been doing all of the side quests. Like, if a exclamation point pops up, I will at some point finish the whatchamacallit, finish that quest line. Like, I want to show you guys, like, I joke not. Like, if we look at all quests, so here's all the main scenario quests, which you guys have already seen. Here's Chronicles of the New Era Primal. So these have all been completed. Side quest, here's all of Hildebrand's quests. There's the Wandering Minstrel quest. Moogle quest, I did all 25 of those. Pick up a side class so you don't lose out on XP when you get to 90. Yes, eventually I will do that because I have been thinking about that. We still have a ways to go, but then like all the Laminson quests, like all of them have been completed. There's not one that has not been. So I've been very busy offline. And like today I didn't have anything to do, so I just did my Beast Tribe dailies and my duty roulette dailies were kind of my main things I did. That took about 2 hours, all things considered. It was not like a short time spent, but it was worthwhile. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see your return. The Elder Caesar awaits you within. Alright. At least you're enjoying the game enough to play offline? Oh yeah, no, I'm loving this game. Like, the biggest thing that I'm right now struggling with, and this might seem selfish in some way, but over the last year, I've grown my community a lot. But it's been on the back of Dead by Daylight, hence why it's still the main game I play. In all honesty, if I could find a way to grow the Guilty Ones community when playing Final Fantasy XIV, I would play more of it. I yet understand how to do so. And I've been watching a lot more Final Fantasy XIV content, especially of those like of ex-World of Warcraft players, because I very much relate to their play and their experiences as someone who used to play World of Warcraft. Not to the point that they all did, but enough to understand. So it's one thing that I'd like to play more on stream than I currently do, especially as Season 2 of COTF, my esports league, starts up on the 9th, where I'll be playing it online once a week, so I'll be doing like 1 4-hour stint of MSQ. There's a streamer's clip video person named The Fashionista who has a Discord to send clips to if you're still get a silly moment. Okay. The biggest thing is, I don't know, I want to figure out a way to like grow the community by playing the game. And like, that's the hardest thing I've yet to understand how people do outside of like YouTube. Or hope someone raids you, yeah. That's kind of the biggest thing that I found is like someone raids. Like I remember you came from, I'm blanking out on their name and I do apologize for that, who raided, which was a very nice thing. So I think the biggest thing I need to just continue to do is like for those who are interested to obviously be here and, you know, when you can be, I appreciate when you guys can. And then, you know, raid out to other Final Fantasy XIV communities and start creating a network. That's what I kind of did when I first started up Dead by Daylight. It's easier for people to discover you on Dead by Daylight since my name is in the game. And if I play really well as a killer, they usually stop by, say hi, say GG, maybe drop a follow, maybe watch for a bit. And that's how I gained a lot of my community. Whereas here, there's no in-game way of really being discovered. So I think one of the major things I'm going to do come March is going to be looking for an editor to probably help edit content both of Final Fantasy and Dead by Daylight, as I'll have some more expendable income to work with. And that will hopefully help just in the overall community sense, not just Final Fantasy. But I also have to think of content ideas of what to edit and put together. Maybe compilations of funny moments or things that happen.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky thing. Like, the biggest way I've seen a lot of, like, World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy is definitely through, like, raids and creating an FC, which the biggest thing is I would love to create an FC at some point, but a lot of my community hails from Dead by Daylight and not Final Fantasy. So, like, eventually I'd like to do an FC. Shoves all 16 people have me into Fairy. Let me in. Yeah, I filled out the queues today. We played about an hour of Inscription prior to getting on Final Fantasy because I forgot to get in the queue early because I'm dumb. And Nixie Rose, thank you much for the raid. Welcome, welcome, Raiders. I am Mark, aka Guildspire. I am not only a Final Fantasy player, but also an educational Dead by Daylight player, which I do play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, but we also are now playing a ton of Final Fantasy every Wednesday and weekends until the 9th, in which case will be only Wednesdays for a bit. But thank you much for the raid, my friend. I really do appreciate it. And Guilty Ones, if you haven't already, definitely make sure to stop on by and say hi to Nixie Rose, who is playing some Phasmophobia. Would be much appreciated. That way, next time they go live, you can thank them for the raid. But how is Phasmophobia, Rose? Hopefully it went well.
I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me.
I mean, it did end in conflict, but the good kind of conflict, as strange as it sounds, like a boxing match.
Ramuh made trial of you?
Indeed. Good, good?
I fear there is truth to his claim.
I'm happy to hear that the stream went well.
It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without.
Did you get frightened and spooked here and there? I killed people with cursed stuff? Oh god, what do you do? How do you kill people in Phasmo? Were you saying their name on nightmare mode? Is that what you're doing?
It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees.
Which seeds here, that does beg the question, were you also aware of Omega and did not tell the Scions who have been, battling the Seans?
Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our...
Ah, gotcha.
Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest.
So yeah, in some ways I was correct in, saying the person's name 3 times and all that fun stuff. Triggering hunts. I imagine that is fun to do, though. I look forward to continuing to see how Phasmo continues to grow. I'm very happy that it wasn't just a flash in the pan, but people are still playing it till this day.
As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose.
Even though there are primals and god primals running about, not to mention the Empire's still a thing and still a threat, and elegant technology of mass destruction, so until I get yelled at for using them without warning. I imagine you being a bit sneaky. She always does. I mean, that's the best way to do it, right? A sneaky killing. I imagine if you were playing Final Fantasy, you'd be a ninja. Sneakily kill them from behind their back.
Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all.
I mean, sometimes you just need to throw your friends in front of you as a meat shield is all. And you're a bard? Ah, fair enough, fair enough. I have high respect for them.
Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still
I don't really
far
see
off.
many bards, actually. Very few and far between so far.
On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a
Pushing
more
your bard
worthy
to healer,
ally
but
to
stop
your cause
playing. Used to
henceforth.
play it a lot. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I've been putting a ton of time into this game, to say the least. Actually, I wonder how much. We'll check after this is done. It's what, /playtime?
Lord Ramuh has departed, Yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent.
I'm not one to burn out of things. I used to play... There's actually a time for a while where I played nothing but MMOs, or rather MMO adjacents of like Destiny, Division, and played both of them in parallel, which was kind of a nutty thing, because I had like dailies in both, weeklies in both. I played RuneScape, World of Warcraft, and honestly, I can't really say I ever get burned out of a game until the game itself lacks content. As long as the game continuously provides me some form of content to kind of like gnaw my teeth on, then I'll be pretty content. And I think as we start to approach, like, if we get to Endwalker and get through all of that, I'll probably start winding down the offline play and do a lot of, like, the side quests in Endwalker on stream. Which would make a lot of sense. That way I don't burn myself out, and that way there's always going to be more content for us to kind of gnaw our teeth on, rather than me, grinding offline so we can get to that area. But also, I've been genuinely enjoying the offline playtime, where I'm like, okay, cool, I can just kind of kick back, relax, do some duty roulette, do some dailies, and just kind of chill out and not really worry about anything, or, clear all the side quests in existence.
Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
That, and also the fact that I can play all jobs or classes on one character is huge, where you could not do that in either the Division or Destiny for all intent and purpose. So there's a lot more like gear juggling, or like wanting to replay the game on like a character and just like redo, so you could then go through the weeklies again, so you could get the like the best gear possible. It was a thing. It was a nutty thing. Thus ends another daunting mission, Arrows. I'd hope Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless I can only admire the adroitness which you respond to the primal sudden challenge. Stop playing around the end of Shadowbringers. Fair enough. Yeah, it definitely helps prevent burnout. You only need multiple characters if you want to play with others and other data centers. Exactly, and right now there really isn't much of a need. I think Aether Ferry will probably be my home. Alright, let's check. Playtime. 4 days, 11 hours. When did I start? Hold up. I can actually check. Like, when I downloaded the game. Let's see. Because I was talking to my coworker and said I would download it the day of and sat in queues. Let's see. So I started my journey December 10th. Yes. Yeah, December 10th. And that was the day where you could not even make a character. That was the day where I literally sat in queues. When queues weren't a thing. I imagine that's a time. For all intent and purpose, I have not had to deal with many queues, but it's been enough. Thankfully, I usually play off hours, or normally I'm smart enough to queue up early prior to stream, so that's nice. Alright. Like, tomorrow I'll probably just do my dailies. And I'll probably be able to do that within like 2 hours. I have 778 hours on Final Fantasy. Okay, it's a pretty good amount of time. You might not want to know how many hours I have in Dead by Daylight. I'm gonna say it anyway. So over the last year, I transitioned from console to PC and then dedicated myself to streaming a day of streaming of a game for 4 hours every single day. We missed a couple streams here and there, but for all intent and purpose. On Dead by Daylight, it's been just over a year and like maybe a month. We're at 2,300 hours? Yeah. As of last time I checked was 2,400 hours on Dead by Daylight over the course of a year. And that's pretty much all, like, online play. A bit of offline here and there, but not too much. Mainly at the beginning when I was grinding BP. Or blood points. Started playing Final Fantasy 2017. I kind of wish I had played Final Fantasy earlier, but I'm glad that I'm able to get into it now and not feel like I'm playing a game of catch-up. When I was watching videos, when I was initially, like, trying to understand Final Fantasy and, like, what, you know, class to play and whatnot, there was one sentence that really resonated with me as I started playing this. The game plays like a single-player game until you end up in dungeons where rather than having NPCs like in Dragon Age, for example, they're actual people with potentially more brain cells. Sometimes you'd rather wish you had an NPC and an AI that you could control rather than a person, but for the most part, everyone does the job they need to. But yeah, no, it plays like something that I can just play by myself and not feel like I'm relying on, you know, I have to wait for other people. Fun fact? What's the fun fact, Rag? Welcome back, Rose. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramuh precedes you. You can replace the people with NPCs. Excuse me? Not until Shadowbringers, though? Okay. I was about to say, I've not heard of this. Nor would I probably. Like I said, for the most part, most people have been alright. There's been like a few times where I go, what are you doing? Like, I'm new and I have to question, like, what are you doing? Do you not know? Do you know? You seem to have more experience than I. And so, like, I'll ask, like, hey, do you have questions about what we're doing? And most times they're like, no. I'm like, can you do this instead of what you're doing? Okay, like, most people are pretty amenable. I have not gotten any, like, people like, don't tell me what to do. I'm like, okay. You're amenable to the idea that maybe I, as a tank, need you to do something slightly different. Cool. As like we were doing a round on Titan Hard, I think it was. And someone I had queued with was another tank. And so I was off tanking, everything seemed fine, and then at some point, they just died. And they're another warrior, so I'm like, how did you die? How did you die to Titan? I know what mitigation we have, and there's no reason for you to die. I'm like, okay. So when we wiped, I'm like, hey, do you mind if I main? Like, yeah, sure. I'm like, cool. Not a problem. Some people use to learn the dungeon before going in with real people, but since there's a newbie bonus, people don't mind getting newbies. Yeah, no, for the most part, if I go, hey, first time doing this, or first time on hard, any mechanics I should know. Either I'll get complete silence, which has happened on a few occasions, or I'll get, oh no, just don't die. I'm like, okay, we can do that. Like, I have enough mitigation and self-heal that I can make sure I don't die. I would fain share news of mine own, but Orangers, I know how to say your name, but I keep on forgetting how to. Aranje. Discoveries must take precedent. Upon witnessing the defeat of Lord Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Sean's immortality. Let's assemble and discuss this observation together. That the Aseans are primals? That would make sense. Yeah, Warrior's really, really good place right now. Oh yeah, no, 100%. And the thing is, I didn't know that was a thing until after I started playing. Are the Aseans primals? Is that what we're about to figure out?
If everyone is ready, let us begin.
Because it kind of makes sense.
Urianger, the floor is yours.
Not Urianger. Urianger.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Asian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Asians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
As we saw of them taking control of Thancred via an artifact.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Asians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence.
Okay.
In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension.
Which then would lead us to suggest that more people can go through said ascension, much like the Seans.
The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Meaning that they didn't disappear back into ether. They were able to transpose themselves onto another body, as we saw.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
So the concept of spirit lives on, maybe not in its actual manifestation, but of its energy. So energy cannot be destroyed.
Decree, the way of all mortal souls.
So energy cannot be destroyed or created, basically. All energy is finite.
Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Okay. However,
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape.
And when we destroy them, their aether is then given back, thus it can be reaccumulated.
Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Okay, makes sense. Once again, aether cannot be created nor destroyed. However, the Seans.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
So it suggests that upon doing so, they gain more powerful, as they now have more aether.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits, should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
Which is what we asked about last time when we saw this happen.
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Instead would then seek another host.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Okay, which then it attaches itself to an artifact of sorts?
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them.
Oh, okay.
The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness.
Yes.
An artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
Oh, okay. So in a way I was correct, but it's a gateway, less of a possession of said artifact. Hence, said artifact can be destroyed, but the soul within it still exists, as Aether cannot be
People
destroyed.
had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan.
Hence, if we can destroy said crystals, then they would not have a way to go back to the realm between.
If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Okay. Makes sense.
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy.
So it's not even
Thus,
that we have to...
might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
It's not even that we need to destroy their crystal, it's though that we have to seal them in a prison that I guess... Yeah, I guess we have to stop them before they get into the plane between. And trap them into a prison made of aether. So an energy prison of sorts. Unfortunately, prisons both hold within, but can usually be broken. So it's not a permanent solution, just a temporary one until some idiot decides to reopen it.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul.
Yeah, that makes
Yet,
sense.
I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
Where's Sid? I'm sure he can make a contraption. Ranger.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
Oh yeah, did we get any confirmation on what happened to the students of Baldesion outside their island literally
I have
poofing?
the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldesion.
Let's not forget, I don't think that island's mentioned ever again. Interesting.
Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Oh, and this is the realm between, is it? There where students of Baldesion are from? Yes. Organization 13. The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex Crag, War, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls were grown weak and wane. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, so that'd be Heidelin, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining. Interesting. What is the rejoining? Yet even in it invigorates the ardor, empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. La Habrea. The vine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Orisia's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Now is that, so I wonder, are they talking about Bahamut, or is this someone else? I feel like we haven't gotten a name for God yet. Oh, that's probably not Bahamut, based on what I've seen. This is something else. Isn't a god? They refer to it as a god primal. At least stronger than the rest. Technically, all primals are gods in the eyes of those praying to them. But realistically speaking, a primal is just a manifestation of one's want for something. Because, like, Enkidu, who Gilgamesh summoned, was a primal, but only summoned by a single person. 66 minutes? Yeah, we were in queue, and that was only of 2,000 people for about an hour. What did you start with, Demon? Ooh, materia. Yo, what's up, Elite? Pretty good, pretty good. Only 25. Wow, that's a long time between data centers. I wonder how that's prioritized. Was going from Gilgamesh to Ferret. Gotcha. Happy New Year, Elite. Happy New Year. Hopefully your New Year went well. Now the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Rose. What this? There's a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Science's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all of the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King, Mughal Mog, 12, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Don't forget Enkidu! Would you believe me, I just got out of the game against a 200 viewer TTV. I 4K'd them. Hey, that's awesome, Elite. Hopefully, it sounded like it went well. What killer are you playing as? Needless to say, there's only one among our numbers to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done in the course of our duties. You have never once failed to answer my calls to arms. You are a true hero, Rose, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Seans may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Good example is Ul'dah. Map was as I was resting, I was running Nemesis. Ooh, sounds like it's a fun match. Why, even without their encouragement, we may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And as I say, nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. The person I downed by shop in the first 20 seconds, and she was deep in my 3-gen. Yeah, I mean, if you, especially on like ARP or Suffocation Pit or Yamaoka, rather, Sanctum of Wrath, it's a tough position for survivors to get out of. No doubt. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what may otherwise seem an impossible peace we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf and the people you have won over to our cause in doing so. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solus who wish not of conflict. Of the Almagines and Thomans who stand with us determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, you must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to the many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Scions, and combat it we shall. Speaking of, your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Menphilia. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Was this Y'shtola? No, Alphanod. How's Ul'dah, friend? Alphanod, I take it troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. Ah, I have a message for you from Ellie, ahem. You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing. They are found unharmed. Hey, that's good news. I was not hopeful. She wishes me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphanod, am I to understand you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Rose, you may have been away from Redenstoll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest you put the affairs of the realm to one side for a moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozen was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? In other words, leave the Solar. That is what I'm being told. Alphanod and I have a discussion, and you were not invited. That is the gist of that right there. Bye! Alright. And are they here? They are. Hello. Look, it's Miss Rose. She's back from her adventures. We heard you were fighting primals, and that they are some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all of the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Rose? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion, then? Miss Boulder and Miss Cooltenet? Do you know that Miss Rose is back? So it seems, welcome home, Rose. My companion and I recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I'm known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Cooltenet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore, we are adventurers. And we were just asking Miss Rose to give us some special training. I think we are ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? No. Cooltenant's name is pronounced as if French. Cool, I don't know French. Cooltenants? Well, you've certainly been indulgent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I think that's the case for all of the Elysian. Yeah, I believe so. As I've been saying his name, Oranger. Orange. Yeah. The elves are French? Ah, fair enough. Thought you knew all languages? No, I took Latin so I could at least understand the roots. I have a counter proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Rose? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Ore, if I didn't know you any better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against the legend. Ahaha, well mayhaps I am. But what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Rose? Would you consent to spar with me? Sure, but you're gonna regret it. Hooray! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, cool tenant. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Yeah. This ain't gonna go well for you. I just have a sneaking suspicion this ain't gonna go well for you. Alright, let's go out of Revenstoll first so we don't use too much gil. No, I don't want to click on you. Okay, so just out here. Cool. And right over here. Yes, right over here. Hello! Oh, it's been a while since I've been level synced. It was good of you to greet us, Rose. I trust you're ready to begin. Yeah, no, that's been a long while since I've been level synced, actually. Item level sync, yes, but level sync, no. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I have nothing above 50 that actually benefits me. Wait, do I? No. Very well, let's not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ahem. Ore, are you certain to wish to fight her alone? That is Rose you face. Are you saying you want to be smacked by an axe too? Because I can smack you with an axe. Well, better way to test my mettle. Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas the hero's legends that led me to join a science to begin with. Without Rose to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Oh, that's lovely, though. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it be the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. In other words, you also want to be smacked by an axe. Hello! You haven't begun yet, have you? Do you have more of an audience? Apparently. Thancred, Yida, and some others. Yida! What? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Rose's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Uh-oh. Well, my own populace seems to be a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your begrudging reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. I mean, axeman. I'm pretty sure he... No, actually, no, he's a paladin. Oh, I stand corrected. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Hi. Alright. Do I even need to use my GCDs? So far, it doesn't seem like it. So far, it doesn't seem like it. Wait. Are you done? Wait. I hadn't even gone into my rotation yet. I didn't go into my rotation. I'm gonna have to use Storm's Eye again. I'm gonna run out of Tempest. Come on, get back up. Okay, so we're gonna go for the I'm gonna have to go back down to the Tempest again. Okay, now we can go up. Oh wait, you're done again? Wait. Okay, we're gonna go down again because it's about to go into 30. No. Are you invulnerable? Oh yeah, you are. No, you're not. Never mind, I lied. Is Karen trying to chomp on my fingers? Maybe it doesn't chomp all too much. Maybe, Frankie, take out the toy, the feathers, and see. Then she decided it's time for Gil to be done streaming so she can cuddle her. Yes. I mean, that's her every, state of being. You have bested me. I yield. I didn't even get into my rotation. Because she's running back to the computer room door. I mean, if you want to bring her in momentarily, I can hold her for a bit. Maybe that'll placate her. That was incredible. She beat them both at the same time. You knew you couldn't lose, Rose. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Cat tax indeed. You know what I should do? I guess we could do this. I could make, like, maybe a really expensive channel point reward for, like, Bring Meep. Should we do that? I see why they would send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I ever attempt the same. Now she seems momentarily content sitting in a pile of clean clothes and licking herself. Alright. I mean, if she ever starts running around again, just pick her up and bring her to the stream room. I want to wait until Demon's able to join the server. They've been waiting for a while to get here. Impressive as always, Rose. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness a spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. You're 11th in line. Man, it's taken a while. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, this is the most fitting title. Do you recall when you first met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. He's not going to be happy with you going late? Probably not. Need 11 people to log out. I mean, I can say a certainty 11 people have logged out, but it would seem that it must be a different, like, queue. When you start screaming again, I'll bring her in. Sounds good. At the time I was attempting to understand this land of Eorzea, I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. So, if I'm not mistaken, Alphinaud's grandfather is Louis Soir. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abound, and yet the effort I saw expanded towards the situation was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. She's sitting against the pile of your clean clothes, and she's momentarily silent. Oh, I take it, were you doing laundry? Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fates long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. Chill on the bed with me, sitting with your laundry? Sounds good. I need to get yours out of dryer? Okay, fair enough. Twas you convinced me a salvation of Eorzea was possible. Aww. 'Twas you who taught me through countless acts of bravery that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful or oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffered blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Cats are warmth vampires, that is a fact. This is true. This is true. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. Alphinaud was around for the calamity, correct? That took Louis Soir? Because they were in original 1.0 FF. No? Were they not? You came when you came in. Okay. What? So was he not around for the original, like, 1.0 FF? Or did that get retconned for all intent and purpose? He was not. Okay. Because I know I was reading up on, like, the lore of Final Fantasy XIV a little bit. Nothing spoilery. But apparently, as far as the game's concerned, we're kind of in a time bubble to where 5 years did pass from the Battle of Carteneau. So far in all of our endeavors, ARR to Heavensward and so on, no time. He would have been about 11. Yes, correct. So he's 16 now, from what I understand. And then apparently no one ages because we're in a time bubble, from what it sounds like based on what I've been reading. So no time technically passes, at least not meaningful time. And the ages or eras are pretty much just, I don't know, made up, as time already is. There we go. Yeah, it's weird. They don't want to specify the timeline to give freedom to our peers. That is strange. I wish that has now become my own. Because Alphanod and most people do not speak like 16-year-olds. They are much more learned than most. Though maybe war and apocalypses might cause that. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. So, Alphanod plans to make their own organization. Charlian is very, very educated. I mean, that makes sense, but still. No, what I need to tackle the, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Seans is a new expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. Fantasy world logic, pretty much. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stone. Doesn't need to make sense? True. You're not wrong. So here's actually a question. We know that Final Fantasy follows umbral eras. Do they follow like a Gregorian calendar like we do? Or is it something completely separate? Unless it's immersion breaking. I guess they have their own calendar. Which would make sense. Because you saw it when you made your character. Yes, which I did see. Which is very similar. Because it still has, in essence, 12 months. I guess it depends on how you look at it, because obviously there are multiple day-night cycles within this game, within our own day. Yeah, the eras aren't related to the calendar, I believe. Okay. I don't know, it's interesting. Because within one day, one of our days, I wonder how many days there are of this, which I could probably find out, relatively speaking, by simply turning on for the UI settings. Let's see, where is it? Eorzean time. Because I have local time, my time. Then there's Eorzean time, which is 9:28 p.m. So it is like when comics and stories give fantasy races alien languages, but it's really just webbing in a basic cipher or a combination of the two. So yeah, time passes very quickly, but like from a calendar system, pretty much. It is kind of interesting to kind of figure it out, because it looks like maybe every 15 seconds is a minute, probably less than that. Yeah, probably less than that, 50, like 5 seconds is a minute. So it goes by pretty quick, like not even a minute has passed, and about 10, so is it 1 to 10 ratio? No, not even. Yeah, part of the time moving quickly is to help people with time-related events like fishing. That makes sense, that makes sense. I imagine I don't need to worry about that for now until I'm doing quests that are more time-focused. I used to have time conversions all figured out. Oh yeah, no, I like knowing that stuff because, like, for example, like, I know for good examples, like, we have a hamster, Norbina. So, like, 1 week in her life, or 1 week equivalent of our life, is a year's to theirs. Exactly. So, like, 1 week of ours is a year to them. So, like, when you compare that, it's kind of interesting. And in a way, this game follows a similar sense to where time is very different. So it's interesting to try and figure out what time looks like in this game in fantasy setting. Though some it might be gameplay focused, there also is some impact on the implications of time of events. Napping and use my clothes as a pillow, very cute. Fame coming rose. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly unified Eorzea. We're gonna go with determination. The fact that his game name is Meep is adorable. Yeah, she came with a name when we adopted her from my mom's coworker's family, who found out that their children were allergic. And we don't know the origin of the name, but I'd be willing to bet that it was possibly given to her, based on Phineas and Ferb. At least that's my speculation, based on the age of the children. Since Meep was not necessarily a one-off character in Phineas and Ferb, but more so than any other that they have seen maybe a handful of times. So that's my speculation, is that where they came, where the name came from. They also said that as potentially because she was very quiet as a kitten until she met me, and from then on she hasn't shut up. Yeah, recurring background character, correct. My cat's very chatty now of me. But then again, she's like the first pet that I've really raised from infancy. Premiered in 2007. Yes, but Meep, the character, I feel like was brought in quite late. It was like it's like a special, like, long episode, if I remember correctly. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I'd first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th astral era, the leaders of the 3 nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such a institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against the threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. First aired in the US in June of 2009. Okay, so like I said, that's 2 years in the grand scheme of things. Well, yet the purpose of this episode was titled Chronicles of Meep. Yes. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of the misuse by placing the fledgling organization under authority of Manphilia. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning grand company, it is yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and yet time-consuming task, which is why I would ask you to accompany me on the journey and tend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I'm otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Can do. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Lominsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Alright. So, out of curiosity, Demon, what's your queue looking like? I'm not sure if you had intention of meeting up with me, and doing so I don't want to... If that was your intention, I will stay online for a bit longer and see if you can get any closer to actually entering. I'd probably give it another, like, 30, 45 minutes at most. Was born in 2008, yeah, so unless your mom's coworkers' kids were clairvoyant, I doubt she was named for their cartoon character. Probably won't be able to. Yeah, it's taken a while. 'Tis unfortunate. I guess we can just use return, since that's our home. Aetheryte. Well, if that's the case, since... Well, I guess we... Okay, let's finish up this quest line. Might as well do that. Since we're already here. Also, where do we need to be going? Hold up. Over here. Okay, we're going up to the Admiral. So let's finish up this quest line. At least since I know you're playing offline, I can at least check in. Yes. I'm doing plenty of that. I'll be online tomorrow doing my dailies and weeklies. Or rather, my dailies. There you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blowfinwish. Bluefishwin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing permissary boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I've of course endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach may reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for the potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it, and you need it range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you're satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter, and we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Can do. So it looks like we're going up. Yeah, this area is packed last night for New Year's. It's kind of cool. I decided to get online and just kind of see what it looked like for New Year's, and it was an interesting experience. Nothing too grandiose, but it was interesting seeing people just kind of chill out and interact. Hello, Rainer. Master Alphanaud's new organization. Yes, I've heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs to receive my full attention. There's someone out here, so let's go this way. Hello. An organization with the freedom to operate in territorial impunity. I must say your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens, well, know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid the trial company of yours falls in the latter category. Makes sense. Unless you're providing an incentive outside of territorial impunity, this is going to be a hard sell, I feel, for a lot of people. At least those with prior obligations or allegiances. Find a profile on the lodestone, so I've got that pinned on a browser so I don't forget your character's name. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, to my knowledge, you can only find people on that if they're online, if I'm not mistaken. Roswen. Who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to? Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some snotted knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Caravalian's door. Yeah, I was trying to add my friend, but they're over in Mass and did not have their PS4, so it did not work. Thankfully, I was able to figure that out before we were scratching our heads for too long. Alright. A precursor to a united Eorzean Grand Company. While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responses here at Naldic and Vimeles keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be trapezing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skill as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Okay, that's good to know at least. I'll probably need arms and armor. Oh, so I went the wrong way. I want to go this way. Actually, I'm going all the wrong ways, aren't I? Alright. East way. Trying to figure out... Oh, I guess I could have just went out that door that way. I see. I was trying to figure out how I got that way, but did not work. And who is our last person to ask? Who is over here? I'm trying to remember. But I'm not recalling who. Real. Why do I not recognize you? Well, ain't Rose. I'd not forget adventurer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. You remember it old Real, don't you? Oh, for only the company of heroes. 3 crystals at Bronze Lake. Oh, my jars went out. And let's fix that real quick while I sit here and scratch my head to try and remember who this person is. Because I genuinely don't. I genuinely don't remember you. How fare you these days? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work. That sounds like a right lark it does. Already last count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into me grave just yet. Okay, at least we got one. And speak of Alphanod landing in Lemza, which we can teleport to. Yep, yeah, so if you ever see that, it's me manually putting that on. That way you guys don't either see my frozen face or the camera booting back up, as it does take a bit of time. Alright, let's go down then, see if we end up near Crystal. So we don't have to teleport to the actual landing. Crystal, I guess we're right near the main, so that'll be easy enough. Probably easier to go here than teleport back up than it was to actually get to the landing itself. Perfect. And Alphanod, where are you? There you are. Rose, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Lominsa. A member of the legendary company Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to signing all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nofika's altar. Alright. Well, I guess we can just do this for cheaper than teleport since we're right here. Honestly, I should do this more often than I do to save on Gil, but it's not like I'm hurting on it, to be fair. Alright, let's go up. No, that's not the way I want to go. And Nofika's altar is an old Gridania, if I do remember correctly, and thankfully there's a shard right next to it. Perfect. Hello, Alphanod. Ride-ons with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I'd be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates as run dry, let's rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Alright, so let's use this again. Hi. No, God Dang it. You are obnoxious. I hate whenever anyone does that, like sits into something that is relevant. All right, let's check here. Oh gods, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes were exposed as a whaler and a regular patron at Buscarons. Do I remember him? I don't remember him. I mean, in real life, I feel like if I were to be asked this question, who was being paid off by the Garleans? Oh, I do remember him. I feel like in real life, if I were to be asked this, like, do you remember me? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do remember you. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if Gal had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? Business brings you to this part of Gridania. Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy of reformed convicts? I mean, as long as you're not going to stab us in the back, I'd say it's fine. As about to stand, the Woodwhalers will be not more to do with me. This may be my second chance I was looking for. But install, you say. I shall leave at once and shall not regret this. I promise you I'm a changed man. Well, if you aren't, I'm going to smack you in the upside of the head with my axe. No, I can't jump over that. Let's use the shard once again, and then we can rotate from here over to there. Probably the most efficient route. It's not often a guild offers such a as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. Well, it's not that it's not focused, it's just a broader scope in its goals. But fair. It's not like we're trying to keep the peace of one area. It's the many that we seek to keep the peace of. And have been quite successful doing so, mind you. Or Sandal, I remember you. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions. I am both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young mistress, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. But I've killed her. Multiple times. So... okay. Talk about being a prison to your own convictions. Or a prisoner to your own convictions. Alright. And Elaine. I feel like I remember you, but I don't know why. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest your tormented back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry, we are just... oh, Rose, isn't it? It has been some time since our paths crossed the side of Copper Bell Mines. Oh, okay, I remember now. Why, you're barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how far you've come, Mother... Mionini? You saw these NPCs in front of the early dungeons. Yeah, exactly. Tells me 'twas you felled the fearsome Black Wolf, and now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order. Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. Okay. Closest crystal to me would probably be over here. And we should be able to make it there. Sprint in hand. Just barely, though. Cool. Airship Landon, as we are going to say hello to Elfie again. What news, Rose? For my part, the Elder Seaseer was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer, our company will not lack for variety. That much is certain, an interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah whilst the iron is hot? Let's meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. As the right shards are paid for by the Syndicate, each city has as many as they are willing to deal with the Syndicate. Makes sense. I imagine that does not come at a small price. This is not what I want. Hello? No. Airship together to Ul'dah. And I believe that's why Revenant's Toll doesn't have shards, because they're not willing to work with the Syndicate, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. And I'm trying to remember where the closest shard is. I believe it's Hustling Strip. Ul'dah is owned by them. That's why Ul'dah has so many versus Gridania, which doesn't have many because they have 8 abided by the elementals. Makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, and there go my... Can't chill for like all of 5 seconds, can they? Also seems to cut the audio from FF, so let me fix that in a moment. Should be good in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Cool. No, I don't want to click on you. Oh, wait. No. Actually, we don't even need to TP. We're right here. That's right. We need to go to the Royal Promenade. Right. Ul'dah, the Guild City, where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous 2. I suggest descending into the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts. I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let's meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Rose. I mean, my last name is Hunt after all, so... that would prove, maybe good fortune. Alright. So let's go to Merchant Strip, and... Alright, most of these have shards next to them, making my life a little bit easier, methinks. Wildred. Wait, you're the lady who came to Little Ego looking for the Masked Devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We're such fools. Any road, that disaster really got me to think about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily it would have been manipulated and vowed to make of myself a more worldly man, so here I am. A new company of champions, and you say it will take me to all corners of the realm? That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need, and don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Little Alamigo. And hey! Simple Man, thank you much for the raid. Welcome, welcome, Raiders. I am Mark, aka Guildspire. I'm an educational Dead by Daylight player, huge need to kill to play killer, and survivors how to play against killer. But also, I am a Final Fantasy warrior, where I've been playing a ton of this on Wednesdays. For now, Saturdays and Sundays, but mainly Wednesdays. So if you guys are a fan of Final Fantasy, you've also come to the right place. Otherwise, we're playing Dead by Daylight every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And all next week, we are playing Survivor Friends, with Friday being Dixper Friday. I'm better than all the other raiders. I'm already friends with you. This is true. This is true. And Guilty Ones, if you haven't already, please make sure to say hi to Simple Man. It would be much appreciated. This way, next time they... Oh, I don't want... Hold on. No, wrong button. Wrong button! That was the wrong button. I was like, raid. No, you raided me. I'm trying to give a shout out. Please make sure to drop them a follow so next time they go live, they can... Or that way you can say thank you for the raid. Friggin' tongue-tied now. But how y'all doing? How's your stream today? Hopefully Dead by Daylight treated you well. You're playing Killer Survivor, a little bit of both. It sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need, and don't worry, I'm not the same... Oh, I read that. I've been following Guilt way before. I'm not sure. I think you might be right, but I can't say with certainty. I mean, I guess there is one way to find out by doing exclamation point, what was it? Exclamation point followage? I think that's it. That right? No. What was it? Oh, it is followage. I just didn't like to do it for myself. That'll tell you roughly how long you've been following. Though it might be on a cooldown. I can click on the people's names and tell them when they followed. Oh, is that a thing? Following since February. Oh, okay, looks like that is a thing. Noted. I did not know that. Yeah, looks like you are ahead in that regard by about 3 months worth of time. Well, it sounds like Dead by Daylight treated you well. Wow, that anyone can do that though? Yeah, it is kind of interesting. I did not know that was a thing. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me perchance? I am Orsen of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. I do remember you. 1 minute and 2 seconds. I mean, it does a pretty good job of actually cataloging that information. I was not expecting it to be actually show anything for you, to be honest. I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. And most upsetting business, are you here within your with your companion Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. Yeah, it's insane to think that I've known a lot of you guys for upwards of, like, close to a year. It's kind of nutty. The first raid of 22 for me. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. That really does mean a lot. Especially as we're kind of playing our variety game. Final Fantasy is something, I would say, new to me, but I've also put in, since December 10th, 4 days worth of time, which is kind of nutty, because this has been my offline game as well. I've been playing this offline and on Wednesdays, and right now weekends, Saturdays and Sundays until the 9th, which is coming up quick, as we do have our Dead by Daylight Esports League. If you guys do want to check that out, you can check it out over at this Twitch channel. We'll be live on the 9th, starting at 12 p.m. CST until February 27th, I think it is. It's about 8 weeks that will be in our season until we have our off season again for 1 month, and then we'll start up our season 3 in April. Yeah, April. I'm sorry you wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashion manner of positioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you are wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, miss. Yellow Moon misunderstood that entire engagement. You're hyped? I'm happy to hear. I'm very excited as I have Rue as our main host going forward, and then we're bringing on some people, which should be fun. All right, let's TP. Where's the other? Wait, there are three of 5. Wait, where's the 5th? I only see one more, which is, oh, right over there in between. Okay, so we can go to the steps and do both. Because this is Pearl Lane. Yeah, steps to Pearl Lane, Lambert. I remember you. You'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know this glorious new company of yours and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the streets say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. And rumors are rumors until you know facts, my friends. I have right to smack upside the head with my axe. And why would I ever recruit this freaking guy? He is like the most corrupt merchant. Yoshi was excited to implement the new Aetheryte system because he admitted to feeling spoiled when he played the development build with it and swapping to a live game. Oh, I can imagine if that was not in the game. The lurk goes shower and whatnot. All right, sounds good, Simple. I appreciate the lurk. You've been granted the undetectable status effect. I appreciate it. And I hope that you get some good rest, get some good food, and of course some good sleep if you end up doing so. A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. That's about what I expected from you. Not to mention that I would actually never ask you to join if it was my own decision making. Like my reband, I did see that. What was the thought process behind that? Also, wait a second. Oh, need to go to the Royal Promenade. Freaking idiot. Need to do this. Housing strip. Yes. Ooh, this might tell me that the talks may have not gone as well as the others. Interesting thoughts. Interesting thoughts. Sweatshirt I wear in my expensive taste. Fair enough, fair enough. That would make sense. How fare you, Rose? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer to your unrelenting gaze? New year, new me. Well, I hope that the name goes well. It is fitting given the description. A single Alamigan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Rose. I will not squander that precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin, as you have no doubt surmised the Sultana also graced my trail company with her blessing. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the document is signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the Syndicate's involvement. Yeah, okay, so looks like that person in Pearl Lane was not wrong. And the Syndicate is not exactly known for being a trustworthy group. As was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I'd prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. Makes sense, though not great. As far as the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has a chance to prove its worth. This is true. It'll not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let's return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Alright, can I teleport directly there? Do I need to meet you? Oh, is it teleporting me? Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Is this just cutscene for us going to Rising Stone, or is there more? There's a Sultana. In general.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea.
Which is the goal.
Well do I understand his impatience. Since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together.
As they probably feel as if the threat is gone, even though there's still dangers knocking at our door at the Seans.
Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
Yes, as long as no corruption invades its ranks.
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve.
Interesting. So why sign the documents in support of?
With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong.
I mean, same could be said for any of the grand companies, though. at the end of the day, if anyone were to be put into power that would want for additional territory, a great war could be sparked. This is just more or less an independent nation.
Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I mean, that's only if the leader of such an organization could be swayed by their money.
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies.
That's good news.
And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
I would not, unless it was under a dubious guise.
Yes, there is that, I suppose.
I have a little bit more
Yet
faith.
I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands.
Fun story twist.
Cannot be done about Telechi.
Okay, so we're talking about Telechi again. Till they sell out to Old Syndicate and take over Ul'dah.
But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
The question is, now that the information that we know we're on Telechi's tail too probably does not bode well, whether it be for Raban or the Sultana. She angry.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Aww. I mean, I can understand her frustration given the situation.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Hey, what's up, Ocean? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so we're going to Rising Stone. So this is the end of the quest line. So this will be the end of stream as well. Oh, I don't want to go that far in, for God's sake. Just wanted to go a little bit. There we go. Let's actually click on the crystal this time. Alright, alright. Let's go say hi to Alfie. And I imagine Minfilia too. Alright. Hello. This is not a journey I soon wish to repeat, but I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our efforts is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Oh yeah, if you don't have a authenticator on your account, it's highly recommended that you get one. That's a good question. I'd have to double check. Pretty good, Ocean. Cannot complain. 2022 has treated me well. All right. Well, now that we have ended that quest line, I think we will be ending the stream there. However, before we do, I do want to go raid another Final Fantasy streamer so that we can continue to share the love that our communities can hold. Let's see. I want to find someone... look at that. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like someone's playing Final Fantasy XII and then doing some DBD. That's interesting. That's actually really cool that I found that in their title. Final Big Rock Story. The thing is, a lot of people are on like very later quests, and so I don't want to like spoil anything for you guys. But I mean, at worst comes to worst, you guys can always leave after the raid. Let's do this. This person's doing side quests, so I think that might not be a bad idea. So let's go raid Andre Warcade. Now, as a reminder, I do not know this person in the slightest. There's a free phone one using Google Authenticator and a physical one that you can buy. Okay, I'll have to take a look at that. Thank you for that heads up, though. But yeah, I do not know this person. I've never interacted with them. So let me know if they're good people. If they're not good people, also let me know so I can unfollow them and not raid them again in the future. With that being said, as always, guys, if you did enjoy the show, please make sure to hit that follow button. If you haven't already, though, check out our Extra Life campaign, which may or may not still be up. I might have to sign up for the 2022 one. But still, check it out, and so we can help heal kids at Sanford Children's Hospital here in Fargo, North Dakota. On that note, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 7 p.m. CST for some more Final Fantasy XIV. Bye-bye!